Hello, it is me, Queen Stativity, surprisingly. All right, this is gonna be a hydro reading, a reading with some water. I keep being called to do this. I keep seeing it in my mind, but at the same time, it's like I've sat down a couple times, or like I've been thinking about this for days, but it's like it wasn't time yet. So I will say that I feel like a lot right now is about slowing down because things are aligning. I heard big time um, in divine timing. And I think the words big time, since it's directly channeled from source, is important. Obviously, there's that show Big Time Rush. But I say all the time that time doesn't exist, and if since it exists at all, it doesn't exist in the way that we perceive it to exist. And so with the words big time, it's like quantum time, or like mega time, or time viewed from far away, a far distance. Things are like lining. I'm seeing tectonic plates. For example, it's like if you're on the continent, which I'm assuming you are. If you're on a continent, you can't really feel the continent moving, and especially as, a person on the ground, you can't see the changes that have occurred over, the centuries, right? But if you're viewing Earth from far away, and you're also ancient, you're infinite, you're immortal, you're eternal, you're limitless, you're timeless, then like you can easily see how the continents are clicking together again, or spreading apart, whichever way you want to put it. It's easily comprehensible. But like to somebody that's like in the 3D on the earth, it's hard to like see that. I keep seeing in my mind like this flat earth. I think I've spoken about this before, but I don't know, maybe not on my videos. But the whole theory about the earth being flat. I remember when I first heard that, I was so irritated, and I still kind of am, because my whole thing, and believe what you want to believe, but this is something that I'm getting from spirit, because I keep seeing it to talk about it. So just take it what resonates and leave the rest. I get irritated because I'm like, now what? Like, what does it matter? I'm like, even if it is flat, like, okay, now what? Like, what now? Are you gonna like rewrite the textbooks? Like what's gonna happen now? It's like that scene at the end of the Nemo movie, which Nemo came up in this book I was reading called It Starts With Us, by Colleen Hoover, kept mentioning Nemo. But at the very end of the Nemo movie, like one of the post-credit shots is of the fish, and they finally escaped the fish tank from the dentist office. And it's been their whole thing. They're like, we're gonna roll in these bags and we're gonna get to the sea. And they finally got out and they got to the sea, and they're still trapped in those fucking plastic bags. And they're like, now what? And that's how I feel. I feel like the people who get like, I don't know, and I'm probably just, talking about myself, but like who get like overly amped about, oh my God, like the earth is flat. It's like, you're still not reaching the point that the bigger point, the point that Spirit's trying to make, is that this whole thing is a simulation. All of this is a projection of the consciousness. All of this is consciousness. All of this is of the mind. None of this really is real. The only thing that's real is what we believe. You know what I mean? What we believe is real. What we believe has value. It's all about you. You are the coolest person in the world. You're the coolest being in the world. You're the most powerful being in the fucking cosmos. It's like, you are the machinery. You are the ancient and futuristic technology. You are the best it's gonna get. Past, like I was saying, rewriting the textbooks, you are the holder of the Akashic records. You have everything inside of you. And yet we, myself included, we choose to like focus on these things, like whether or not the earth is flat or not, when we fucking like thinking about the fact that you created this whole thing. Like, how amazing are you that you created this whole thing with all these constructs and laws and these beliefs? I think about this a lot. Like, just even videos like this is something that you could, if you view it from a far enough, pulled away lens, it's obtuse, it's odd, it's it's abstract. It doesn't make any sense, but it's important and it's valuable and it's comprehensive and cognitive, or whatever all the words are, because we say so. So that was a very interesting introduction. I wanted this to start with me saying that I have a sound bath meditation available on my Ko-fi page. I really would implore you to go get it and listen to it, because there's a lot of times in my life where I really just needed a good little meditation or a good little activation, or especially I like people talking. I really like the sound of people's voices. And excuse me, I've listened to other people's meditation, especially Ramona Lappin's. Her activations are just phenomenal in my opinion, and I just felt called to make my own. I call it light language. I use some light language in there. Almost all the poetry was like just off the top of my head. Everything was channeled, but man, I feel like I'm on a podcast. Anyway, what I was saying, like, oh Lord, I can't even think. I would call it light language, but I remember when I first was like in my spiritual shit, and I would just sit in my room and I just like start talking in tongues. I could feel some sort of ancestor, I believe it's my great grandmother, and she would come around and she'd want to tell me stuff, and it'd come out in tongues, and I'd feel like I was crazy, so I'd like try to whisper it in my room. And then I got more into like the spiritual community, got on Instagram, because I wasn't on Instagram at first, and I saw people using light language, which I don't know. I don't think it's the same thing, so to speak. I think speaking in tongues is more like African, but I think ultimately it's the same thing. So light language, speaking in tongues, there's a lot of that on there. And I do all the things, all the sounds are for me. I created the water sounds. I created the Tibetan bowl sounds, and I just love it. So that's on my Ko-fi page. There's information on that in the description, and there's a lot of other stuff on my Ko-fi page that I feel like a lot of people just don't take advantage of. There's like the Atlantis extended readings are on there. There's the Clarity extended readings on there. And I think other stuff, there's like extended readings on there that one person has purchased. So I feel like a lot of people are missing out. But anyways, thank you so much to that one person who purchased my reading. So we're going to get started. I think we're going to get messages from Spirit with this vanilla. This is just some vanilla and some water. You're blessed, you're cleansed, and you're ready. Ooh, let's see what happens. I don't want to use too much. Just a little dab. Shit, is it gonna come out? I guess not. So I feel like that in itself is a message. That's what I was saying earlier about divine timing, the message that I've been getting from Spirit for myself, but this is also a collective message, is like, don't force anything. Like recently, this is all just switch it to however it relates to you, but recently I've been having to look up like new jobs to get. I really don't. I hate all the jobs online. They don't seem fulfilling at all. But until I get the support that I desire, or beyond what I desire, that's how it is. And every time I'm like on there on the websites and I just don't see anything that for me, Spirit is like, trust me, let it go, relax. And I finally did that, and the next day, somebody gave me abundance or, you know, money. Like I realized, like, yesterday, all the little things I was worried about, they got solved within, like, I would say within 72 hours of when I started stopping, when I just stopped trying and just decided to just surrender and be in the moment. Everything that I wanted, like little things mostly. I need like lotion. I needed a new body wash and a new scrub for my body, and you know, just the basic human things. And I didn't have them, and I was stressing about getting them because I also have other stuff I need to get. And they just, I have all of them now, and it's like that's what Spirit was trying to say. Like, you have to trust me. It's hard as hell to like go against your instinct to like be a workaholic, you know, in this societal facility. I don't know if you can hear it, but Kitty is like meowing. I don't know why. I closed my door because I'm washing my covers and I don't want his kitty fur on my mattress. All right, here we go. What does Spirit want you to know? Ooh, did you hear that tap? Wow. Wow. Okay, I'm hearing it keep going. So, I've been watching this show called 1899. It was recommended. And that's what I saw when I poured this into the bowl. I'm hearing now to talk about like because now the little droplets were individual. Now it just looks like just one evened out color. And so I'm hearing to talk about how on that ship that's in that show, the 1899 show, it's on Netflix if anybody's interested in watching it. I haven't finished it yet. So there's like this mass hysteria, or like there's this collective consciousness, and then there's the individual consciousness. Like it's like it's a group of people, a large number of people who are all thinking the same thing and moving kind of in like a hive mind kind of way. And then there's like, of course, like the main characters, like these individual characters who have different goals and therefore different actions, different priorities in the show. And I feel like there's a separation occurring, which is ultimately union. Like I was saying before, I think the continental drift is an incredible example of what I'm trying to say. So it's like the continents are drifting apart, right? But if you think in terms of the Earth as a sphere, even when you drift apart, they're just merging together on the other side, which I always thought was fascinating about the theory, or, you know, whatever. I don't think it's a theory anymore because I think it was proven, but you know, the continental drift, that's what Spirit is saying. Spirit is saying separate from the hive mind, which I've been called to really, really pull back from being on social media. I don't like social media. I wish I didn't have to use it at all. But I was using it a lot just to, you know, distract myself around the holidays and just different things. And Spirit, I was called to pull way, way back. And it's like, that's the message, is to pull back from like the hive mind, pull back from the collective consciousness that's very, I don't know, palpable, and like be in your own individual state, in your own individual sovereign mind. And like that's how you'll like break out of that, and then you'll start to see like that's when individuals will show up who are also on that wave. Is there an example I'm seeing? Like, I don't know, is it a Black Mirror episode, or is it, I keep hearing a lot recently about the show The OA. It's on Netflix as well. I don't know, maybe Netflix is important. I think the red color, the root chakra. But basically in the show The OA, there's this woman named Prairie, and she is found after she was missing for years. This is all in the first episode, so it's not too much spoilers, but she's found. I think it's all in the trailer. And the odd thing is about when she was found is that she was no longer blind. When she left, she was blind, but when she came back from being, well, when she went missing, she was blind. When she came back from being missing, she could see. Um, and I feel like even that's the same thing that I've been talking about from spirits. Like, you were blind, now you can see. And she's so strange. Her parents don't really, get her. Her neighbors think she's fucking insane. But she stays. She stays in her own. Oh wow, my nose is running, or like my sinus is draining. She stays in her own like individual space, and she keeps her own independent consciousness, right? And that's when, like, she meets like her tribe around the community, her tribe around the neighborhood. They seek her out almost, but they just show up, and it's like I don't know. It's like, it's exactly what I'm saying. It's like once you get out of that stream, that program, you enter this more open and expansive space. And in that space, there are other beings, there are other people who are with you, but they all have their own individual, they have their own uniqueness to them, but they're with you. And that's what I've been picking up from spirit. It's like, if you truly believe in yourself, I hope you heard that little crackle. If you truly believe in yourself and you believe in what you're doing and you believe in your manifestations, it's like they have no choice but to create themselves. And this is something that I heard, I think in a reading with, I can't even remember her name, in a reading, and I also heard it from spirit when I was reading these books. Like, they were telling me something, or they were telling me something from spirit, but it was like the moment when you finally believe, like you truly believe your worth, when you believe that you should be treated with kindness and equality, when you believe that you should be loved and treated with consideration and appreciation and consideration. I don't know if I already said that. Respect, all the good things. You don't have to shout it out from the rooftops. It's just something, it's something that like clicks and moves and fits into place inside of you. And that in itself, that unseen clicking, that unseen action, it's enough to send out like this signal, and it'll alter your reality. Your reality will start to form around that projection. Going back to what I was saying at the beginning, it's a projection. It'll wave out and it'll spiral out outside of you, and you don't have to tell anybody. You don't have to tell nobody. You don't have to like declare it online or tell a friend. It's just something. Now your reality, your whole field will know, because it's that deeply believed, versus like a surface level belief, which is fine. I feel like you need to have these kind of like surface level beliefs until it's you sink it in truly. It's like so many things I've heard recently, but it's like excuse me, I heard, or I don't know, I came up with last night, it's like sometimes you have to make other people the villain in order to become your own hero. And what I meant by this, or what I heard was meant by this, I don't know, it's because I'm spirit as well, so it's like my own ideas are also spirit's ideas. What I meant by this was that, like, of course, ultimately, we all want to get to a place where we don't hate anybody, where we don't demonize anybody, where we're not afraid of anybody, we don't, you know what I mean? Like, we aren't ugly towards people. We all want to get to a space where we're like accepting of how people are. We don't judge them, that whole thing. It's nice. But before you get to that space, sacred rage, is important. You have to demonize people sometimes to make yourself an angel. And then you can get to that space of, I'm not judging them anymore. I'm not afraid of them. I don't hate them, but I'm also not going to tolerate them being less than I deserve. Um, but I feel like what I was saying about there's this silent click into place that happened for me, and therefore I feel is within the collective consciousness of us all. Um, it's soundless, it's formless, it's not. It's just a happening. It's just something that happens, and I do feel like it couldn't have happened until now, even though it has happened before. It's already happened and it will happen at the same time. Because as I said at the beginning, time doesn't work in the way that I perceive it, in the way that we perceive it. You know, it doesn't exist at all, but you know what I mean? Like, even in the way that we perceive it, it's like one string tied through all of our chest, through our heart chakras, but it's like we're at different positions. And so the string is activated at the same time, but it hits us at different times, but at the same time. So it's like for some people it hasn't hit yet. For some people it hit a long time ago. For some people it's hit right now, but it all actually happened simultaneously. That's what I'm getting from this. Those little drops of vanilla. Um, there's these little drops on the side, and I feel and I'm hearing Spirit saying not to worry about it. So I feel like anything in your life, in your bowl, that hasn't reached or been put neatly into place or been solved yet, Spirit is saying, truly, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I watched an episode of Bob's Burgers last night. Something called Worry. And which episode was that? It was 2 episodes I watched. It was one episode where, yeah. So it was I think most recent episode, and it was about Bob's dad, who Linda calls Big Bob, and the children call Pop Pop. And he was, Bob was upset with him because he was worried that he would continue to catastrophize the world in front of, you know, the Belcher kids, the Louise and Jean and Tina. He didn't want his dad to like be saying constantly about the end of the world in front of his children. And when he finally told his children what he was worried about, they said, "Oh, like you? You mean like how you do? Always like, oh, I don't know if you heard that click, another click. Like you do, like how you're always like, oh, you know, everything sucks, life is so hard, and da-da-da-da." And I think it's strange, or it's right on point, because last night I was like just letting my music app play whatever, and a song came on. I think it's called Catastrophe or Catastrophize by Noah Khan, Khan, I believe is how you pronounce or how you spell his last name. So maybe, I don't know, listen to that song, but it's like, stop catastrophizing, stop putting your energy and time into all of these possibilities of doom. And that's another thing that I heard, which I've heard from other people as well recently. It's like, stop putting your attention on things that can go wrong and put your attention on things that are going right. Like, really focus on the things that are going right, that you like in your life, particularly, specifically right now. So I feel like we're in like a very creator mode right now. It's like it was in autopilot, going back to that hive mind. Like, it was in that hive mind autopilot, and you step out of that, you exit the matrix, so to speak, and like now you're in like the captain's seat. And as the captain, you need to make sure that you're steering, because you have more control now, if that makes sense. But also at the same time, it's like I was saying earlier, to let go of control. But it's like also focus and aim, but like don't aim in a way that is commandeered by fear, stress, and anxiety. If that makes sense. I don't know, lots of shifts and stuff happening. We'll say, is there anything else? I heard something about relationships that you would like to say. Ooh, I spilled some on my pretty thing. So to me, that looked like a nucleus. It looked like it was like, geez, it smells so good. Okay. Yeah, I saw like a nucleus here. Like it was like a spot in the middle and then like white or clear space around it. And then on the outside, it was brown. And so I feel like when it comes to relationships, it's like the nucleus of it is being reset, or the nucleus of it is being reborn, or there's a new nucleus. You know, nucleus is it's like the brain or the director, the boss of the cells. And oddly enough, cells came up in the sound bath that I did. So another reason to check that out. I don't know why. I was channeling and I was speaking and it just came out. I dissolve all my cells. I merge them as one into the petri dish. I've listened to it a couple of times. So I have slightly memorized, but that's what I said in there. It's like I merged all the cells as one into the petri dish, and then with me seeing a nucleus right now, it's like the nucleus is being reborn and it's merging together all the other nuclei. I don't know how you say it, but it's merging together all the other ones. And it's like, it's becoming anew from a collection of the old, but like not necessarily like all the junk of the old. Like I said, it's just the brain, the director, the CEO of the cells. So what I'm hearing now, it's like taking all the lessons that we've learned, taking all the lessons that you've learned, all the best parts, all the good stuff that you needed to learn and know in order to free yourself. We're taking that, not all of the BS. We're taking the good stuff. You know what I mean? Like we're taking the lessons that you learned, the growth, and we're putting it together to create a new nucleus, a new consciousness, a new brain, a new neurological system. I don't know words, but that's what I feel. And so I also, the nucleus, especially how it looked right now when I saw it, or a couple of minutes ago, it also looks like an eye. The eye is the window to the soul. It's how you see, it's what you see, it's your perspective on things. And also, the third eye, or the brow chakra, is where you see your intuitive things. You get your psychic sight, your knowings, your clairvoyance, right? And so I feel like there's no more need for delays or like things being hindered and blocked and foggy, because the third eye, the brow chakra, whatever, as beautiful as it is, I feel like the only reason that we need it, so to speak, is because our two eyes, our two earthly eyes or two human eyes, whatever, you know what I mean, aren't able to see clearly on their own. They're delayed. They're blurred. You know what I mean? They can't see as well as your third eye. And when I mean see, I don't mean just physically. I mean like see the truth. And so it's like a new eye, seeing the truth with ease, no longer having to jump through hoops and go through all this shit and all these mazes and interference and things just to get to the other side and say, oh, that's why I went through all of this. It's like, no, you've learned the lessons. You've risen, you came, you saw, you conquered, and now you can jump to that spot. So I feel like it's also like an increase or a direct link to what you believe, what you want, what you desire, what you create, and it manifesting. There's no longer this kind of like separation, this glitch. I'm hearing DNA. I don't know, strand. I don't know, but that's what I heard. Like, I don't know, getting in the way of it. So I'm getting kind of worn out now. So we're gonna switch to some oracle cards. Okay, I heard 3 piles, so there will be a message for all of you. Pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3 has 2 cards. Oh Lord, 3. All right. So it's just gonna be what you need to know, and it's gonna be quick. I don't think I'm gonna do timestamps, so you can just fast forward by tapping. So pile 1, whatever it is you're worried about, like if you're whether or not you're gonna get the outcome that you want, the happy family, the dream home, or a dream job, whatever, dream family. I think I already said that, but people are gonna show up for you in a real way, and they're gonna stay. And they're gonna be loyal to you, because I feel like that's something that you maybe have trouble with these arms, like they're holding on to each other. And I'm hearing like if somebody like left you through death, I'm sorry to hear that. But I don't know, I want you to know, and I'm hearing like we are eternal. We live forever. We don't actually die. And so yes, it is possible for you to be with your people forever, with your tribe, with your folks forever, is the message that I'm getting for pile 1. And the number 4 in any form, I feel, is important for you. I just got a text message while I was reading that. So yeah, I got another one just now. So there might be some message coming in, or maybe somebody that's in your tribe, if you were wondering, is messaging you now or gonna message you soon in some way, or you get an email and you see their name, the name of somebody you know or you think is your person or something like that in the email. That's another source of clarity, of confirmation for you. Pile 2. What the fuck? What? These are like the best 2 cards. I see these as like the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles. Wow. Wow. So yeah, pile number 2, you are the Empress. If you were wondering, I don't know who you are, and wondering if you're powerful enough, if you're strong enough, the answer is hell yes. You are meant for abundance, because you are abundance. Somebody told me the other day, it was on Black Friday, and I was telling her how I was afraid sometimes of like childbirth, because there have been an increase in complications over the years, and I don't know. I just said that, and she was, but I was like, you know what? I'm usually pretty blessed when it comes to a lot of these things. Like I don't have to go through the traumas of things, and I admitted that. I was like, I'm blessed, and she was like, you are blessed because you are a blessing. So I feel like that's something, I don't know, maybe since I mentioned giving birth or children or something like that, maybe that's important for you. The answer from Spirit is that no, you don't have to have that harsh experience, whatever it may be for you. You don't have to do it. You are blessed because you are a blessing, just as you are. You're the kind of person where you don't really need to do any like good acts of service, because you are being of service by just existing. You're an energy transmuter, you're a purifier, you heal, you cleanse spaces just by existing. Like even your naps, even you left your toenail, I don't know. I don't know, on somebody's carpet, like that toenail is in there transmuting the shit out of that room. But the answer is yes to your question. Yes, you are going to receive this abundance. If you've been seeing it, it's because it's meant to manifest in your life. And the number 3 in the Empress is a confirmation of that. All right. Ooh, I just heard something in my ear. Pile 3, you might be having a lot of things going on with your ears, like me. Lots of tuning the radio station of the heavens. Wow, these are such nice cards. Look at that. Like, what? These are like the best cards in this deck. Like, these are the cards I always hope to get when I do personal readings for myself. I'm like, oh, I hope I get these cards. And look. So, part number 3. The answer is yes, you are meant to be with this person, especially you know who they are. If you feel any sort of like trepidation, like is this person gonna be good enough for you? Because I don't know, I feel like this is something a lot of the twin flames have experienced, but my throat chakra, see, went out as soon as I said that. Twin flames, I would say, especially the divine feminines. This is not going in terms of gender. This is according to energy. So I would say especially divine feminines have experienced harsh words or harshness when it comes to the throat chakra of their divine masculine, where like they said harsh things or they didn't speak. They didn't speak when it was time. And I remember Ramona Lappin said this, and it just really stuck with me. She was like, if you don't speak up when you know that you should, if you don't say what you know you need to say when you need to say it, then you might as well be lying. And it's the same thing. I think Dr. Martin Luther King and, you know, so many people before him and after him have said, like, if you're not standing up for people, you know, when it's time for you to stand up for people, if you're not doing the right thing when it's time for you to do the right thing, and you're just kind of like being a stand-byer, what's it called? If you're just standing to the side, like, you might as well, you're on the same team as the offender. You're on the same team as the victimizer if you're standing by and watching injustice take place. And this is something that a lot of divine masculines have done and have been doing. You know, I think for myriad, I don't know, I love to use that word, I don't even think I use it right, myriad of reasons. You know, there's been a lot of interference. I was getting last night that the divine masculine, and mine in particular, but you know, I'm sure many people can relate, was intentionally put into these family environments where they would receive a lot of wounds, a lot of like punishment for speaking and for being themselves. You know what I mean? Like a lot of punishment, a lot of shame. And so, and then they carry those wounds, and then when it's time for them to have contact with their divine feminine, they project all that shit onto her. Again, speaking in terms of energy, does that make sense? So if this is resonating at all with you, with the divine masculine having a lot of throat chakra issues, and there's like this fear of like, I feel like the divine feminine is finally ready. I'm getting the movie Bruised with Halle Berry, which is also on Netflix. Look at that, it's a Netflix original. But the movie Bruised with Halle Berry, it's like, at the beginning, she really did not believe in herself, you know, like a lot of divine feminines. It's like you have to go through this journey of like this really standing up for yourself. And by the end of the movie, she really stands up for herself, and she really believes in herself, and she likes herself, she loves herself. And then you finally have these high standards, and you don't tolerate, and you have good boundaries. You get to that point, but you know, you want the person that you love to come with you, and there's this fear that they probably won't ever, I don't want to say be good enough, but you know what I mean, like they won't ever rise to meet the throne that they're meant to sit on next to you. And what does spirit want to say about that? Yeah, see, heartbreaking door to spirit. This is exactly what I've been picking up on. Let's just hold this here. Excuse me. Wow, this is strong because I'm burping like crazy. Yeah. So if you're feeling that, I feel like spirit is saying, yes, this is true. I feel like, I don't know, maybe this person is still disappointing you. Maybe they haven't fully shown up for themselves, even though you're at that space. It's like you're ready. What was that? Who was that? It was Halle Berry. I watched a lot of interviews of her, and in one of her interviews, in accordance with the Bruised movie. I watched like all her interviews with the Bruised movie, and she was saying, because I think they asked her about her relationship now, and she said, I was finally in a space where I was ready for something serious. She said, I was in a space where I was like, you know what, I'm tired of playing games. You know, I don't want to just be loosey goosey anymore. I don't want to be with anybody who's not like my person. She was like, I'm ready for like that real true love now. And she said when she was in that space, that's when she met him. Like he came in her life. And that's why I feel like the divine feminine of this pile is, and this is divine feminine with us in us all. So even if you are a masculine watching this reading, the divine feminine within you. So it's like she was ready. The divine feminine of this pile is ready, but it's like there's this, they still haven't shown up, or like there's this worry that they won't step up to the plate. And I feel like Spirit is saying, don't worry, I'm gonna open a door anyways. And I feel like the advice from Spirit is like, it's gonna be a surprise. It's gonna work out perfectly for you. So I'm feeling like even if it's not this person, even if they never heal this heartbreak, you will still receive the loving of a lifetime, or of all the lifetimes. Like you will still be getting it. And for other people who, you know, it is this person who is going to stand up. Spirit is saying, I will open up a door where they will walk through fully, I don't know, I heard a tick, fully in their like armor I'm seeing, or like in their emperor attire. Like they will walk through. It's a promise from Spirit. So it's like you don't really need to worry about the actions of any particular person, because Spirit is saying, I promise you, I will come through with this love of a lifetime, a love of the eons, a love of life. Like I will come through with the one. So you don't need to worry about any particular person or any particular action or any time frame, because it's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen in this very bursting, full of joy kind of way. All right, so that's all I have for today. Leave a comment if you resonated with this reading. If you didn't, you don't have to leave a comment. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for everybody who has subscribed. If you would like to donate to me, I would really appreciate that. I would really appreciate the support. There's information on how to support me via donation in the description. But a great way to support me, as I've said before, is to visit my Ko-fi page and to bless yourself with one of my extended readings, and or with my new sound bath with some water. All right. Bye.